recently I went to get my vaccinations. I had to go into the city of Boston to go get both of them to actually my wife's work, both times. And the second time I went in, the traffic was crazy on 93 North. So Waze took me all the way around. And I went on the Mass Pike. And I'm driving along on the Mass Pike, zipping in. It's really no problem at that time. Going into the city, getting out is the problem. And something catches my eye. And there's the light towers on the median that separate the east and west sides of the highway. And I look at it and I see it's a raccoon, like a big raccoon. You can put a saddle on it, and it's like stuck. It's stuck on top of the light tower. And I kind of I'm an animal lover. I'm not a monster. So I called the Mass DOT. Obviously, nobody answered because it was past 3 p.m. On any given day of the week. So nobody answered, but I left a voicemail, and I also direct messaged them their Twitter account. And, I was texting Ryan at the time, and I was like, you know what? I did what I could, and, not really thinking anything would come of it. Now, when I'm on these, like when I was driving, I listen to talk radio, like sports talk radio, and it drives me insane. It's like a drug. I hate it, but I can't stop listening. I don't know what these guys do to me. It's like Felger and Maz specifically. They have like these ridiculous takes, and I get it. That's their shtick, and like it's their, the whole point of the show. But I cannot tell you how many rides that they've ruined of mine, listening to what they have to say. So I get my vaccine, and then I head home, and then Ryan texts me, and it's a screenshot, and it's a tweet from Tony Maz himself. And it says something along the lines of, I just sat in an hour's worth of traffic on the Mass Pike because there was a fire engine on the highway rescuing a raccoon from a light tower. I did it. I'm taking credit for that rescue. And as a double whammy, I was able to ruin his ride that day.
That's pretty good.
So it's a small victory for the little guy, but I will take it. This happened a while ago, but we've had it in the queue and haven't been able to use it. I'm happy we were finally able to.
You get credit for the raccoon. Definitely.
Thank you. That raccoon, hopefully it didn't, dive back out onto the highway because it's that time of year, right? You feel like you're driving down the street and you see like a bunch of dead animal carcasses in the road. So hopefully that one still made it, but hey.
You also can take credit for everybody that was pissed at you for like Matt was
ruining their drive home.
Because there's definitely some people that don't.
I've got to see my wife.
Yeah. How many people's loved ones died in the hospital because of you?
I never thought of that. But then now what happens? What happens like if nobody saves that raccoon? And it just like gets too tight. It was so hot out that day too. That thing was probably cooking up there. So like what happens when it, dies up there or passes out and like falls down on the hood of somebody's car on the highway, and then all of a sudden it's a 20-car pileup.
Or like in the back of someone's truck, or like in the top of a convertible.
Yeah. Just hits a windshield and splatters all over the place. Oh my God.
Very good.
Hey, you're an American hero, Adam.
Thank you. I'll take all the credit and all the praise, none of the blame.
Welcome to the Average Nobody's podcast number 124 for July 12th, 2021. All the Average Nobodies are here today. Adam, Ryan, me, Matt. You can follow us on Twitter at Average Nobodies. AverageNobodies.com is where the blog is, and YouTube.com/The Average Nobodies is where our videos are. This. Also, you can listen to the podcast on anywhere you find podcasts. We got a big show lined up. We got celebrity birthdays coming up, courtesy of your boy, and we have a draft. As usual, this week's draft is something a little different. It's worst movie bosses. You guys pick some good ones?
I think so.
I've got a number of them.
I think this was a little harder than some of the other ones we've done. Like I don't have as deep of a roster.
This was a thinking man's draft for sure.
It was.
Yeah, to really think. Because then I was like, all right, we'll get into that later. Let's do celebrity birthdays first.
It's time for everyone's favorite game show, Celebrity Birthdays.
Who is it? It's me.
Hey, happy belated birthday, by the way, Matt.
Thank you.
Oh yeah, happy
Thanks,
birthday.
pal. Thank you. I'm very old now, 32. I feel like
68?
I'm 64 after this weekend, after Connor's bachelor party.
I'm so sore.
I am so sore from playing spike ball. I mean, honestly, it's probably a mix of walking 9 holes of golf and also
Oh my god.
playing spike ball, but I think it was mostly spike ball. Like all my joints are
Yeah.
like they're in
I felt like
shape.
between spike ball and dodge bear, I was on the ground for a good amount of the time at Connor's house, just like trying to grab beer pong balls or something.
It's it's a totally different hurt now. Like it used to be sore muscles. Now it's like cartilage and bone hurt. So
did I text you guys this? I got up on Sunday morning. So I drove back to my house after Connor's. I got home at like 2:00.
That's deranged.
Because after that, like we played another game of last game of Dodge Beer outside. Then I went around the corner, threw my guts up, and then I just drank water for like another couple of hours. And I just I knew I was going to sleep like shit. And I thought, if I'm going to sleep like shit, I'm going to sleep like shit in my own bed. Yeah. And so I sucked it up. And actually, from when I decided I wanted to leave, it took me an hour to find my fucking car keys. Because drunk Adam thought it was smart to put my car keys where somewhere I wasn't going to lose them. But then I sobered up and lost them. They were in my laptop bag.
Yeah.
And so by the time I figured out where those were, I mean, John was in bed at like 9:00, 8:00. John had blocked me in, so it took another half an hour to find John's keys. And Sean Abernathy was trying to get a ride home. Like there were no Ubers and no Lyfts, so the silver line, it sucked. But the silver line was I was able to give him a ride home. So, I mean, that worked out. But when I got up the next day, I found 10 beer tabs in my pocket from Dodge Beer.
Very nice.
So we played at least 10 games.
We played a lot.
That's why from now on, when I do things that are like full day activities like that, I have a bag that I bring, and anything that comes out of my pockets that I don't want to carry anymore, I just throw in the bag.
Yeah.
That way, consciously I know to throw it in the bag. That way, at the end of the day, everything's in there, and I'm good to go. And I had to get out of there because, I mean, I want, like you said, I wanted to sleep in my own bed. I wanted to stay there. But time was ticking because I knew there'd be no Ubers or Lyfts in that area because we were having a hard time getting them out of Providence the night before.
Yeah.
So there's no way they're going to come out to the sticks in Warwick to come get us. So I was like, I got to make a move. And that's when I got my designated driver, Tom Vieira, to come get me out.
Baby.
It was perfect. Perfect.
Old reliable.
All right. Celebrity birthdays. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 celebrity birthdays. I fully expect every single one to be gotten.
Okay.
They are all... Now, here's the thing. I didn't look it up, but when did we start celebrity birthdays last year? Not this time, right?
It was like September.
Okay. Because a couple of these sounded familiar, and I wasn't sure if we had done them before, but...
So the earliest I have, the first one that I have is 9/28 saved. 2020, but I wasn't right. I wasn't saving them before that. We did it a number of times, and I wasn't saving them.
Could
be.
Hey,
maybe this is a repeat.
Could be.
Wow.
We'll see.
Only 4 on 9/28. Only 4.
All right, here we go. First one, and be ready. I'm watching you guys. Also, play the honor system here because I'm also reading. Okay, first one. Letty put it this way. This fast actress is not afraid of sequels. Adam.
Is it Michelle Rodriguez?
That is correct. So, did you get that? I was saying it over and over again out loud in my house. Like, instead of let me put it this way, I just said Letty put it this way.
Yeah, I got it.
Right, you got it. Okay,
Yeah.
okay, cool. All right, yeah.
I was waiting for another clue to drop to maybe put you towards Jordana Brewster, but
no, I could have done added Avatar in there, but really, Michelle Rodriguez is Fast and Furious. So,
yeah.
How old is Michelle Rodriguez today, July 12th?
Michelle Rodriguez is 42.
Okay,
Oh,
Ryan?
that's what I was gonna say.
You can say it.
No. I'm going to say Michelle Rodriguez is 44.
Ooh, Michelle Rodriguez is 43.
Damn it.
Oh, come on.
I thought you were just going to go one up.
I was going to tell
man.
You got to always
Michelle
go one
Rodriguez, 43 years old today. Happy birthday, Michelle Rodriguez.
Emrod.
That's one. Okay, here we go. This actor is shameless when it comes to nudity. In a bar full of Gallaghers, he's the only one that's on the ball. Ryan.
William H. Macy?
No, it is not. The second half of that clue is the key here. This actor is shameless when it comes to nudity. In a bar full of Gallaghers, he's the only one on the ball. Adam.
Steve Howie.
That is correct.
Ooh.
He plays.
Yeah, guess what?
Kevin Ball.
I've never seen a single episode of Shameless.
But he came up before in another episode. Why were we talking about him?
He's in Reba.
Right, that's right. Yes, that's right. Reba. All right, Adam. How old is Steve Howie today? July 12th.
Steve Howie. Steve Howie is 46.
Okay.
I'm going to say 39.
Okay. Steve Howie is 44 years old. Just a little bit outside. All right. Happy birthday,
Should've
Steve
guessed
Howie.
that one. 44.
Next one. Whether it's navigating a house of cards or rocking the stage, this actress is marvelous. Ryan.
Oh. Robin Wright?
No. Whether it's navigating a house of cards or rocking the stage, this actress is marvelous. Ryan.
Kate Mara?
No.
I'm trying to think who else is in that show.
So she's not in House of Cards a lot, but she doesn't have many credits. Adam.
Rachel Brosnahan?
That is correct. Rachel Brosnahan, who is, of
I don't know who that
Marvelous
is.
Mrs. Maisel. I believe
Marvelous
she was on
Mrs.
the
Maisel.
season of
I've never seen that.
But literally I thought she was in more stuff. Not really. So,
Well, Marvelous Mrs. Maisel is popular. I've just never seen it. So I guess that's a big one.
how old is Rachel Brosnahan today, July 12th?
37.
Okay, Ryan?
I'm going to say 32.
Ooh, Rachel Brosnahan is 31, which was shocking to me, honestly.
Yeah, she seems young.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. Okay. As the voice of an obese teenager, this performer inspired millions. As a regular human adult, this comedian turned pudding salesman went to prison for raping 60 women. That is Ryan.
What the fuck?
Bill Cosby.
That is Bill Cosby. It took a turn, didn't it? I don't mean to laugh at it, but it's like quite the juxtaposition there.
Oh my god.
It really went
You
downhill.
didn't
after
expect
that.
that as the voice of you know who the obese teenager is, right?
Yeah.
Fat Albert.
I was too jarred to even think after that.
But
I was like, wait a minute. He sounds like he's describing Bill Cosby. Is he gonna do
Are we rolling?
oh, we're rolling.
Oh,
Cosby,
man,
who
okay.
got let out of prison on a fucking
Technicality.
technicality. Great. Everybody's fine. He's planning a comedy tour. Thank God. Because I know there's going to be a ton of people that want to go see his ass fucking perform comedy at this age, which is
80? I'm gonna say
Adam?
80.
Damn, I was gonna say 80 also. I'll say 81.
what a birthday present for Bill Cosby, who is 84 years old today.
Damn.
That fucking scumbag.
Hey, highlight of his most recent years is being featured on the show.
There you
It's
go.
true.
He was a celebrity. He was a celebrity riddle. This one kind of felt like I almost wanted to leave him off. This is like when I did Hitler.
Well, when you've got a riddle like that,
I thought it was
that's
a
true.
pretty good riddle. I was worried that I was gonna at the end like kind of like I'm not making light of it, but it is what it is.
That's a fact.
All right, next up, from a basement stoner to the leader of the KKK, this actor has done it all with a symbiote attached to him. Ryan.
Shit. Give me a second.
Oh,
I got it.
5,
Eric
4,
from that
3,
70s show.
Yep. 2,
I can't think of his name.
1.
Topher Grace.
Oh my God, the buzzer beater! The buzzer beater. It is Topher Grace.
I knew who it was, and then my mind just said, "Say Tobey Maguire," and I was like, "Wait, that's not the right one." Okay.
It is Topher Grace.
I appreciate your leniency.
But I thought that was fair because you were there, and I was giving you the countdown. I wasn't gonna let you go forever.
All right, thanks.
All right, how old is Topher Grace, Ryan?
Topher Grace is, I'm gonna say, 38.
Okay.
Topher Grace is 45 years old.
Topher Grace is 43 years old.
Damn it.
Second 43-year-old today. Him and Michelle Rodriguez share a birthday, same age.
Oh, very nice. I wonder if they're friends.
Meant to be. Maybe not.
Yeah, probably not. It's a pretty big world.
Okay. Lord have mercy. This writer, producer, director has done a lot over the last decade. From the jump, it's obvious this person is well-versed in animation as well as live action. While he's known to be in a tandem, his accolades allow him to stand solo. I'll read it again. This is one of my best. Lord have mercy. This writer, producer, director has done a lot over the last decade. From the jump, it's obvious this person is well-versed in animation as well as live action. He's known to be in a tandem, but his accolades allow him to stand solo. Ryan.
Is it Rian Johnson?
No.
He didn't do solo, right? Yeah. Known to be in a tandem.
Known to be in a tandem, but his accolades allow him to stand solo.
Lord, is it Harrison Ford?
No. Lord have mercy. This writer, producer, director has done a lot over the last decade.
Lord and Miller.
Philip Lord?
Philip Lord, that is the answer.
No.
Good. Phil Lord. How old is he today?
Philip Lord is... I don't think I've ever seen him. 47.
Adam?
46.
Phil Lord is 46 years old.
Hey!
Very good, very good. And our last one here is a posthumous celebrity riddle.
Okay.
He is passed. But
posthumous?
Posthumous.
Yes. Well, no, it's funny. The riddle is funny, is what I'm saying.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
What is it? What is it actually? Post-humor? What is it?
Posthumous.
Posthumous.
Don't act like people know that, Adam.
Yeah, nobody says it.
People do know that.
No one knows that. Deduct 3 points from Adam. Brother to one of the great comedic geniuses, this performer is most known for his story involving Prince, the Revolution, a basketball, and some blouses. It looked like Ryan, but it was super close. I didn't see it the last minute. Do you guys see otherwise?
It looked really close.
It was a bang bang.
Yeah.
All right, so we both know who it is.
I would agree with that.
So we both know who it is.
Can you guys
guess?
I'm gonna. Oh yeah, I don't know how we'll do this. Then.
It's Charlie Murphy. I got it. It's my point.
Okay. It's Charlie Murphy.
Now we'll watch the playback and we'll do the reveal next time.
Yeah.
Okay. How about this? How about I will give you guys within a year of how old he is to get that point.
Ooh, okay.
And you can
you have a little buffer?
You can both get it.
Oh, how old he would have been?
How old he would have been. I'll let Adam guess first, and then Ryan will guess second. If it's within a year, you guys can both get the point.
62.
Ryan?
I'm going to say 64.
Ooh, he is 61. So Adam gets the point.
Oh, damn it.
There we go. Charlie Murphy, 61, would have been 61 years old today. Rest in
R.I.P.
peace.
Wait, does that mean I get both points?
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, you get it.
Have a day.
And that was Celebrity Birthday Riddles.
That's it for this episode's edition of Celebrity Birthdays.
Who was it?
And now a word from our sponsor.
Oh, God. Today's sponsor is Werther's Originals. I got some of those hard candies for the office. Adam, you were here when I brought them in. Good candies. Oh, yeah. Meant for old people, but also for young people. They're pretty good. I like them. As well as a package of Reasons, which are also good. kind of like a harder Rolo.
Oh man, those are stuck in my teeth.
I don't know. I was like, we have a little candy like bowl here for when people come in, and it was like originally filmed with like those peppermint wheels, the red and white like peppermint wheels, and those are good. But you can't just have those in there. Yeah, I mean they're all right.
Just get loose Skittles.
So I was like, I'll get some more like little packaged candies, and I originally wanted to get a bag of Lifesavers, which are the peppermint Lifesavers that are pre-wrapped.
Yeah, those are pretty good.
They didn't have them. They only had the green bag. So I was like, no spearmint for me. And I got the Reasons and Werther's Originals. I don't know. Just grabbed me. All right. Draft time. Worst movie bosses. This draft order is going to be as follows. It's going to be Ryan?
Yes.
Ryan first, then Adam, then me at the back with a come-around pick. So we're doing worst movie bosses, and I'll tell you what, guys, it was a little tough for me to come off the top of my head these picks. Originally, what I wanted to do was I wanted to reverse engineer it. So what I did was I went on YouTube and I searched best like people quitting scenes, like from movies, which would you'd think that at least some of them in return would be with bad bosses, but a lot of the time it's not. It's just that person being like becoming successful outside of that job, not because of the
boss is just like not significant enough.
Right, exactly. So, so that didn't really help. But I did end up picking a few, and I told you guys I had to look up a list after that to fill in my like ones that if you guys steal some of mine. But how'd it go for you guys?
So, I mean, I didn't have the smarts to do what you did, but it was pretty tough going.
Yeah, it was definitely the hardest of the ones we've done so far. Because I feel like even like good bosses, like I was trying to look at like some like good movie bosses. You don't really have a lot of those either.
I thought that it would be fun to do one with the best bosses eventually.
Yes.
Flip the coin on that. I thought that'd be good. All right.
I like it.
Let's get it going. Ryan, you're up.
All right. So this interesting, and I didn't think of it until just this second. But my first round pick this week is the same actor in the same movie as my first round pick last week.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
In the horny draft, I picked Austin Powers. And in this draft, I'm going to pick Dr. Evil.
Wait, I picked Austin Powers.
Did you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You picked Jim Levinstein.
That's right, because you took him before me.
Yeah.
Well, anyway.
Yeah.
I was going to pick Austin Powers. I don't know. I just like tricked myself into thinking
two number one picks in a row from the same movie.
Yeah. Yes, that's what I meant to say. So I'm going to go with Dr. Evil. He, as his reference in his name, he's just pure evil. Will Ferrell's character, he like puts in the pit and like just we have to listen to him slowly, savagely burn alive. He's just I don't know. He's not like a boss I would ever want in any any occupation.
He's not even a good father.
Specifically, he's a terrible father. He's just a bad person. He's an evil person.
Yes.
Except to Mini-Me. So I guess if you're Mini-Me, he's not too bad. But since none of us are Mini-Me, I'm going to go with Dr. Evil as my number one overall pick.
Very good. Horrible,
worst movie boss.
That didn't even cross my mind. Dr. Evil didn't cross my mind. Very good. Adam, do not pick my pick. I'm going to be so angry.
I don't think I'm going to. I think there's one here that I probably could pick, but I won't pick it just because I haven't seen the movie. But my first round pick is Mr. John Hammond from Jurassic Park.
That's a great pick. That's an awesome pick.
What are you doing bringing dinosaurs back to life? That's such a bad idea. It's so bad. You know what? Let's run the beta test with my grandkids as well. That's another phenomenal idea. I don't think like he obviously didn't screen Newman too well because he was gonna tear his whole operation down. What the when they designed the park, the raptor cage was way too close to the main facility, but the backup generators were way too far away from the facility.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think some other missteps in there. I know he spared no expense, but John Hammond was a pretty bad boss. Maybe a worse grandfather, but a pretty bad boss.
Yes. Well, that's like, it seems like the first two picks they have that in common: bad parenting / grandparenting, and just a bad boss in general. Very good.
I wonder if those two, like, go hand in hand. I think we might be onto something here.
Maybe. Well, my next one, I don't know anything about his kids, or my first one. So that's it. That's all you got.
That's I got.
All right,
Yep.
I'm going to read to you how bad this person's boss is. I'm going to read to you an excerpt from the movie from the employee's perspective about his boss. Hey, if any of you are looking for any last-minute gift ideas for me, I have one. I'd like Frank Shirley, my boss, right here tonight. I want him brought from his happy holiday slumber over there on Melody Lane with all the other rich people, and I want him brought here with a big ribbon on his head, and I want to look at him straight in the eye, and I want to tell him what a cheap, lying, no-good, rotten, four-flushing, low-life, snake-licking, dirt-eating, inbred, overstuffed, ignorant, blood-sucking, dog-kissing, brainless, dickless, hopeless, heartless, fat-ass, bug-eyed, stiff-legged, spotty-lipped, worm-headed, sack of shit, a monkey shit he is. Hallelujah. Holy shit. Where's the Tylenol? That is Frank Shirley from Christmas Vacation. That's Chevy
awesome.
Chase's boss. Clark Griswold's boss. So he is a terrible boss because he cuts the bonuses around Christmas time when Clark is ready for his pool in the spring, and instead he gives him Jelly in the Month Club, which is a punishment worse than death. Instead of a pool.
Great pick.
Frank Shirley. Whew, I'm out of breath. All right.
Hey, that was a long monologue.
And then the come around here. The all-time worst boss, just worst in every sense of the word. You're never good enough. You're always late. If you're on time, you're too early. It's J. Jonah Jameson of the Daily Bugle. He is a terrible boss. He gets all the greatest pictures of Spider-Man from Spider-Man, and he hates him, and he hates Spider-Man, and all he wants to do is burn Spider-Man's good name. So J. Jonah Jameson, another terrible, horrible boss.
I had him as well, J. Jonah. All right. Still, the one that I should pick, but am not going to because I haven't seen the movie. I'll leave that person out of this, but I'm going to pick David Harkin, and Kevin Spacey from Horrible Bosses.
Yes.
That guy was a real fucking piece of shit, and also including he was a murderer. He murdered another horrible boss in that movie. He's a really bad person. I remember one line from that movie where he takes the job that Jason Bateman wants, and he's like talking himself up. Everybody's like, yes, I will be doing both jobs, but I'll only be accepting 80% of the other salary. Oh, just 80? Just 82 salaries?
He was like a world-class asshole.
Yeah. And like he knew it too. The things that he said to Jason Bateman, I don't know any off the top of my head, but pretty fucking hilarious.
That's a good pick.
So that's my second bad, terrible boss.
Nice. All right, I'm gonna switch things up a lot right now, and I am gonna go with Scar from The Lion King.
Okay.
Gonna get animated, gonna get animalistic. So I don't know. I just feel like even if I was, in some type of evil animal in the animal kingdom, I would not want as ruthless a boss as Scar. He's just way too demanding. There's just no way to live your life. And again, he's also a murderer. Not only a murderer, he killed his own brother, and wants to kill his poor nephew. So I just think that's pretty evil. I'm gonna go with Scar as my second round pick.
Very good. Very, very
good.
Hey,
I don't know if I sent this to you. I saw it on Instagram. It was like one of those like Disney details you never noticed when you were a kid, and like so it's Scar. He obviously kills Mufasa, right? And like so the person in the video had said that what happens when what happens when like the leader of a pride loses or dies, gets eaten by the new alpha. That's the new alpha eats it. And there's another scene in the movie where Scar has a skull in his hands, and like if you look up what a lion's skull looks like, and like it's a lion's skull in his hand. So he ate.
You think he ate Mufasa?
Mufasa. He ate Mufasa.
Terrifying.
So,
I will say lions are just like terrifying. When we went to South Africa, Holly and I, for our honeymoon, like the guide was just telling us. He's like, lions are the only animals out here that kill for like fun. Like
good.
They'll literally just kill another animal and leave it, like not even eat it. Just
because they're the kings.
Right. Just to like assert their dominance. It's like, oh, and that lion you mean over there, like right next to our truck. All right. So my first pick of the third round, I'm gonna go with this. This is a very obvious one, and I don't know if you guys also had him on your list. But I'm gonna go with Bill Lumberg from Office Space.
Very good. Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one.
It's a good one, and like I don't know. I felt like that was low hanging fruit, but I feel like he's specifically bad, and for anyone who's like worked in an office setting, it's because he delights in like just being like kind of like a piece of shit, and like knowing how much his employees hate their job, but like still not giving a quarter of an inch to like give them a little bit of happiness. It's just like the worst type of boss.
Yeah.
So although that actor is a great actor too.
Very
I do like him. He's very funny in Veep. But yeah, I'm gonna go Bill Lumberg, my third round pick.
Well, Ryan, you just actually, wait, never mind. I had her on my list, and it's not a movie. I was gonna say Serena.
The Gilmore Girls.
It's no.
It's Gilmore.
So I've got one here. I think it's actually pretty funny. It is. I forget the name of the character, but it's Michael Keaton's character as the captain in The Other Guys. So he was a good boss at Bed Bath & Beyond. All his workers really liked him. He seemed to be on the ball with the new bath mats. But when it came to his job on the force, it seemed like he was pretty scatterbrained. You know, his two best detectives died on his watch. Couldn't get the next two up really to step up. Couldn't find anybody else to step up. So Michael Keaton as the captain is my
Captain Gene.
Captain Gene, yes, thank you. His son wanted to be a DJ, couldn't handle that. Got guys shooting guns off in the precinct. So that's Captain Gene is my third round pick.
Yeah, he was not a good boss.
Okay, here we go. So, and this is the my second round pick. No, my third round pick.
Third round pick.
Third round pick. I'm gonna go with Biff from Back to the Future. So Biff comes up in Back to the Future across the three movies a number of different ways. But in the first one, he comes up as George McFly's boss at the beginning before things get changed, if you guys remember. And he's just a dick. I mean, he crashes George McFly's car. And I don't even know if he's really his boss at that point, but he is his superior. And, like, crashes his car, blames it on, like, blames it on the car and all that. And then he's like constantly berating George McFly, think McFly, tapping his head and all that shit. And then of course in like the other movies he comes up as he's like the leader of Biff Industries or whatever the fuck. He's supposed to be like a Donald Trump-esque character in his Biff Tower. Just a real bad guy in general.
Yeah, real piece of trash.
Yeah. So Biff, and then for my fourth round pick, I'm going to go with So Bill Lumberg was taken. I'm going to go with Miranda from The Devil Wears Prada.
Yes, that was the one that I alluded to twice.
She's ruthless, and for some people, you might like a boss like that where you can like kind of lift yourself up, kind of like Anne Hathaway does in it. But also, she is a bad boss in the sense that like she allows Anne Hathaway to totally like out the person she's working with, like push her out. And like Emily Blunt, right, is the other character.
Yeah.
Totally push her out and like totally like cannibalize the other people in the office. Like if you want to run a place like that, that's fine. But in my eyes, that's a bad boss. Like you should be like the collaboration and all that. She's not very nice. Miranda
helping each other out.
Right, helping each other out. So Miranda, Devil Wears Prada.
Call.
So my fourth round pick is Lord Voldemort from the Harry Potter films. What a talk, like killing so he's in the business of killing people. He's well, I guess in a magical sense, racist. He's a murderer. a multi-time murderer. But he also kills like his followers and like his closest followers. Just has a vendetta to kill a baby. He wants to kill a baby. And like, you know,
and you can't let it go.
Even when he comes back, you know what I mean? What's his name? Peter Pettigrew. Without Peter Pettigrew, he's gone. And he treats Peter Pettigrew like garbage.
Yeah.
He gives him a hand back, but you know, that's not that good. But then talk about like being up by a mile, as far as like being more powerful and having the stronger army and this and that. And like, dude, you just cannot lead. You do not inspire. You're not an inspirational boss. Harry Potter is. And
he only goes so far.
Dumbledore, another good boss. Damn, I might write that one down. Stupid Adam. Can't believe I just gave that. Well, I got first pick next time, so.
Voldemort takes a little bit too much joy out of saying the word muggle, even when it's not featured in like a magical rap song. He likes saying
He does.
Yeah.
So that's my fourth round pick. Lord Voldemort.
Okay. Right.
So I'm gonna run this one by you guys first, and if you think it's too much of a stretch, I'll go with someone else. So I was gonna pick Fletcher from Whiplash. Mm-hmm. Would you consider him a boss?
Yeah,
I consider him a boss.
I know he's like a coach, but I feel like when
a boss, like I'd be a teacher, a coach, something like that. Yeah,
so I'm gonna go with him.
That works.
Yeah, I think he has the same qualities as Miranda.
Yeah, he does. Like he thinks he can inspire through like fear and like, you know, ripping each other's throats out instead of like a collaborative effort. But I mean, he's pretty terrible person, you know. He like lies to Miles Teller's character about the former student who killed himself and all that. Like, he's just kind of like an overall bad guy, but he sees it as getting results. But I think it makes him for just a really bad boss. So I'm going to go with Fletcher for my fourth round pick.
That's a really great one. Great pick.
I didn't have him on here until you did J. Jonah Jameson. And I'm like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
I think he plays like mean and evil very well.
Yeah, he does.
And I'm gonna wind or start off the fifth round with Marcellus Wallace from Pulp Fiction. I think he's kind of like of all the bosses that I picked, we definitely kind of, I guess, know the least about him. Maybe just because he's kind of like a mysterious character in you know, Tarantino's movie. But from what we do know about him, he's pretty ruthless, and he's not someone that I would want to be working under. I feel like I would just be in constant fear for my life, and then eventually he would just murder me for some reason. So I'm going to go with Marcellus Wallace as the first pick in the fifth round.
Very good. Very good. Adam?
So my final pick is Sergeant Dignam from The Departed. Marky Mark.
Okay.
You've talking like, so him and Martin Sheen played like a really good cop, bad cop as Leo's handler in that movie. But like, you know, for as good of a cop as like, you know, the father figure and like a real good leader that Martin Sheen is, like Sergeant Dignam takes it to the next level. He offers Leo zero Billy Costigan, zero support, like no praise. It looks like he doesn't even want anything to do with him. Like he's the person he's responsible for is living on the edge. So like, got to be a little bit nicer than he is to anybody.
I think you could support him a little bit.
I love the part where him and Matt Damon get into a fight in that movie. And Matt Damon, he says something, and Matt Damon goes, "Oh, that's a lie." And he goes, "You're calling me a fucking liar?" And he was like very clearly being sarcastic or lying or something. And he was so offended, got right into his face. But
what a great movie.
Yeah, Sergeant Dignam, not exactly the type of guy to inspire his subordinates.
No.
Very good. All right, Mr. Irrelevant, my last pick of the draft. I'm going to go with, this was a tough call, but overall, this person is a bad boss. It's Jordan Belfort from The Wolf of Wall Street. Tremendously bad boss. I mean, don't get me wrong. It probably was fun to work there until everything went to shit, and then you no longer had a job. So, bad boss, leading the company astray. Jordan Belfort. My honorable mentions are Scrooge from Muppet Christmas Carol, making his employees work on Christmas, and really any other Scrooge, he's all the same.
Yeah.
And also another character from Office Space, Stan, the manager at Shenanigans where Jennifer Aniston works.
Oh, yeah.
And he's always busting Jennifer Aniston's nuts about wearing pieces of flair, 37 pieces of flair. And she's like, well, if you want me to wear 37 pieces of flair, just tell me to wear 37 pieces of flair. And then she quits. So Stan. And I think that's it. Yeah, those are all my honorable mentions.
You guys used all my other ones. I have one more in here. It's Mr. Krabs from SpongeBob, but that's my only other one.
What was the one with the movie you haven't seen?
Miranda from Devil Wears Prada.
Okay.
I've never seen it, so I couldn't in good faith I couldn't use it.
You'd like it, I think. It's a good movie.
I'm sure I would.
I'll
throw it on the docket. Maybe if it's on Netflix or one of the streaming services, I'll watch it.
I'm sure it is. Ryan, do you have any honorable mentions for the draft?
I had so I actually put in Claire Daring from Jurassic World.
Yeah.
Because I feel like she kind of along the lines of John Hammond, like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Definitely.
What are you doing?
And like again, putting these smaller children in danger, and then she like really relying on Chris Pratt to save the day.
Yeah.
Over and over and over again. But when it comes to dinosaurs, just maybe don't it doesn't have to be with other people around. Just figure out the dinosaur part first. And then I also picked Principal Trunchbull from Matilda.
That's a good one.
Yeah, she was an evil bitch. And that's it.
Very good. Draft over. All right, let's get into what we're watching. Ryan, do you want to start?
I can start. Mine's a little long.
Actually, yeah. You start.
All right. I won't go too long. So in TV, or I guess not basic TV, but like episodic things. Still watching Dave. I haven't watched the new one, so I haven't watched the one from last Thursday yet.
Same.
So the most recent one I saw was the Kareem Abdul-Jabbar one.
Yeah. Which
was really funny, and I feel like they're getting back into their stride with how they did in season 1.
Yeah.
Really, episodes 1 and 2 were good, but 3 and 4 were like improvably better. So still enjoying Dave. I finished season 2 of Mythic Quest, and I'm just gonna keep praising Mythic Quest until anyone watches it, so I can talk to someone about it. It's such a good show. It's like It's Always Sunny, but they're not that mean to each other. But it still has like the funniness of Always Sunny. It's weird. It's tough to describe, but it's just so well done. I love the cast. You get like a couple belly laughs every episode, and similar to in season 1, I know I talked about earlier on an earlier episode where they did like the bottle episode with Jake Johnson and Kristen Milioti, and in this one they did like a flashback episode to one of like the older characters, and the actor who played him when his younger self was Big Head from Silicon Valley.
Okay.
So there's this older character played by F. Murray Abraham, and he is like one of the main writers of the video game. So he's kind of like a secondary character, but they gave him like his own 2-part backstory on like how he became, like he started off as like a science fiction writer, and then eventually like kind of turned into like this alcoholic, like, really just like mean, like mad at the world type person, until Mac's character like discovered him at like somewhere and like asked him to write his video game. So they did like a really cool like bottle episode on his backstory in season 2. But I can't recommend it enough. Obviously, you need to have Apple TV to watch it, which I know is a lot of people. That's why they don't watch it, because they don't have it. But really, really great show. Season 2 was really great. And then I started, speaking of Apple TV, I started watching Physical, which is a new Apple original with Rose Byrne. And it's a very like unique show. So she plays this like 1980s housewife who is like just very frustrated with her marriage, her life, and she ends up discovering like aerobics. This is at like the start of like the aerobics boom. So she like discovers an aerobics class, and then it just like completely like transforms her life. So it kind of just like follows her around, like, you know, being a wife, being a mother, and then she's like sneaking off to these aerobics classes, but she has like this like mental like body disorder type of thing where like she's never like happy with like how her body looks. So it's kind of like a dark comedy, but her internal monologue is super funny. So she'll just go up and like talk to someone, and you know, they'll be like, "Oh, like you look great today," or whatever. And then instead of like saying it out loud, it'll just be in her head. She's like, "Yeah, well, you just look like a fat pig," or something like that. She's like, "Oh, hey, you look great." Like, it's like super funny. But there's only been one season of it, or half a season, so it's 6 episodes in. Holly and I really like it. So anyone who has Apple TV, I would recommend Physical. And then I watched season 2 of I Think You Should Leave. The Tim Robinson sketch show, which I'll save for you guys because I know you both watched it too. I watched so HBO, they came out with a new movie called No Sudden Move. I don't know if you guys have seen or heard of it. It's a new Steven Soderbergh movie.
No.
It was very, very well done. So it's kind of like a crime noir movie. So it's Don Cheadle, Benicio del Toro, David Harbour, who else? Oh, like fat Brendan Fraser. Like,
whoa,
400-pound fat Brendan Fraser.
What?
Is
he in
like a suit or something?
No, so I guess Holly and I looked it up. I guess he's playing this role. He has like a leading role in a movie coming out where he plays this like 600-pound recluse.
What?
So he was like training or getting ready for that movie, and they cast him in this one. He's so fat. He's so huge. Like, I didn't recognize him at first.
What the fuck?
Yeah, but it's super cool. It was a very cool movie. Like, very like, I don't know. It was like a crime movie, but just the way Soderbergh films everything too. Like he does it in like kind of like a classy, like, reminded me of Ocean's 11 a little bit. Not as funny, but it was really well done. It was just like a quick like hour and a half, you know, crime movie. I thought it was really good. Everyone was good in it too, especially Benicio del Toro was really good in it. So I definitely recommend that. Then I watched The Tomorrow War, the new Chris Pratt movie.
Oh yeah,
on Prime. Fantastic movie. Like, I went in with pretty high expectations, but it was really, really good. Great aliens, like very terrifying, scary aliens.
Yes.
I did have a couple issues with it. I felt like the third act, like the last third of the movie, they kind of just like breezed by a lot of things just to get to the end, because they spent so much time building up to what was happening, and then obviously like the fight scenes with the aliens, that it kind of felt like they got back and then it was like this quick conversation and then they knew what to do and then they did it and then it was over. Yeah. But I mean, I guess you couldn't make it like a 5-hour movie, but
I think they might have spent too much time in the first act.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I could have done with more. I wouldn't have minded more like of those aliens and like that fight scene and like how they were taken over. But I just felt like they kind of figured out what happens super quick. Yeah, they did. But I mean, that's it happens. It didn't take away from it. It was just like something I noticed, and I was a little upset because I'm a big Glow fan that Betty Gilpin was just kind of relegated to the housewife. But I guess
damn. See, I was excited that her name was on here because I love her in Glow.
Yeah, I mean she does play an important role, but not.
She's not fighting aliens.
No,
that's stupid.
Yeah,
she should be fighting aliens.
I agree. They gave that to Chris Pratt. Yeah. But Chris Pratt was good. Sam Richardson was good in it. He played like the comic relief. And I thought J.K. Simmons was good too. J.K. Simmons sneaks in there, has a couple good scenes.
What's the name of the girl in the future? Yvonne Strahovski. She was badass. She was a colonel in the future. She was a good character.
Yeah. So they did. I mean, they had like some strong female characters. I was just hoping Betty Gilpin was going to be like one of them. She was just kind of basic. And then because of that, and Holly and I usually do it every 4th of July, we watch Independence Day.
Nice.
And like, it's a classic. It's never not going to be good, but talk about a letdown from you watch the aliens in the Tomorrow War and then you watch them in Independence Day.
Yeah.
And like, I always forget the scene in Independence Day when like Will Smith like runs up on the alien spaceship and just punches the alien in the face, and the alien's like, whoa. Like he's punching like a clown at like a Dream Machine type place, and it's like, oh man, that really. So I thought we were supposed to be afraid of these guys, or I mean, luckily they make up for it with like the size of the spaceship, but
Right. That the Tomorrow War, I think, was a theater quality movie for something that went straight to streaming. It was.
100%.
I thought it was. I would have not been disappointed to spend my money on that if I saw it in theaters for sure.
No, same here. I also watched Jurassic World, which was, it's always good. I know we talked about it, Adam. Like the first time I saw Jurassic World, I wasn't as drunk as you, but seeing it like kind of drunk at a drive-in, you miss so much of the movie. You might as well just not even watch it.
Yeah.
And that was I'd seen it after that, but it had been a while. And like you go back to it, it's a solid movie.
When is the third one coming out?
I will check while you guys continue.
I think it's next year.
It must be soon. Is it next year?
I think so.
I think it was supposed to come out last year.
Yeah, 2022.
Damn,
I think I would have known if it was coming out this year. Maybe not. Who knows? I also watched this very, very interesting documentary, and I had never heard or seen anything before about it, but it's called The Amazing Jonathan. And it's about this. He was like this super popular, like he had the longest running like residency for a comedian in like Vegas history. And he was this like prop comic who like was super popular and then ended up getting diagnosed with like this, I don't know if it was cancer, but something that basically only gave him a year to live. And at the time of the documentary, it's like 3 years from his diagnosis. But this guy, he's kind of like an Andy Kaufman type character where like you don't know what's real, what's not. Like his persona on stage like mended into like his persona in real life. So he hires this guy to do a documentary on him. And as he's doing the documentary, the guy who's doing the film finds out that this comic also hired someone else to do a documentary. And then they find out there's a third documentary being made at the same time. And so then the filmmaker, like if he thinks he's like losing his mind, and then it forces him to like kind of confront like stuff from his past. So it ended up being this like extremely moving, like well done documentary on the filmmaker and on this comic, because they get a lot of cool footage. Like the guy ends up going back like on tour and tries to do his act again, but he's like clearly dying and super weak, and he's also addicted to meth. So he just like smokes. Yeah, it's wild. It's crazy, but I think you guys would really like it. It's on Hulu.
Is he still alive?
Yeah, he's still alive. The guy's still alive. Yeah. So I mean, he got diagnosed like 6 years ago with something, but I mean, you can tell as the film is going on, like he's getting more frail.
Yeah.
But he's still alive somehow. So, The Amazing Jonathan on Hulu, I would highly recommend that. And then yesterday, Holly and I watched two very different movies. One was called Horseman, and it was with Dennis Quaid. It's from 2009. So Dennis Quaid, yeah. So it's about the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse.
Oh, okay.
It's not like about horse people, which is very upsetting. No, but so Dennis Quaid plays this like world weary widowed detective who is called to like a crime scene, and there's like multiple crimes in his city, and they all start taking the form of like the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse. So yeah, it's like extremely gritty and fucked up, but it was like a pretty good like psychological thriller. And then we started watching. Holly thought it was stupid, so she stopped watching it, but I thought it was pretty funny. And it was Barb and Star Go to Vista Del Mar, the Kristen Wiig movie.
What the hell's that?
So it's like it's so stupid. It was so dumb, but I thought it was pretty funny. So it's Kristen Wiig and I think it's Annie Milano. So it was like Kristen Wiig's writing partner. So they co-wrote Bridesmaids, and they did this movie, and it's kind of like Kristen Wiig. She had this character on SNL. It's like I think he's from like Nebraska or Arkansas or something, and it's like this woman who's like stuck in the 80s, and they just have like the 80s haircut, and they wear like the what like moms you would wear in the 80s. So they're just like 2 best friends who live in, I think it's Nebraska or something, and they want to go on vacation to Vista Del Mar in Florida. But at the same time, there's this evil character, also played by Kristen Wiig, who has who has designed a way for like mosquitoes, like these super mosquitoes, to go and like if they bite you, they kill you. So it's stupid, but it was kind of funny. And Jamie Dornan is in it, the guy from 50 Shades of Grey. He plays like the henchman who like ends up falling in love with like Kristen Wiig and her friend, and oh my god, it was so dumb, but it was pretty funny. It's on Hulu as well. So if you need like a kind of like a dumb comedy to watch, I would suggest that, but it's definitely not going to be for everyone. So anyone who watches it and thinks it's the stupidest thing, you're not wrong. But I thought it was pretty funny.
All right. Yeah, I saw the ad for that today. I was like, oh, never heard of this before.
It was dumb, but I enjoyed it.
Matt, I'll go next. I can run through a bunch of these. So I've been watching Loki. The last episode was awesome. They're like stuck in the void, and you're finally they're leading you to believe you're gonna see who's behind the curtain, so to speak, running the TVA. I hope Matt's theory is correct that it's Doctor Doom, but it's most likely going to be Kang.
Yeah.
But we'll see. We'll see what happens. I finished 000, one of the best shows I've seen in years. I cannot recommend it enough. Matt, thank you for turning me on to that. Have you finished it?
No, I still haven't finished it.
All right, well, you got to finish it, and then we can talk about it. Ryan is probably going to finish it before you, and he hasn't started.
I'm going through Gamora, so I'm almost done with season. Once I finish season 4 of Gamora, I'm going to go to 000, so it'll be soon.
Okay. I've been watching Community. I'm so glad that I got back into this because the show, like I said last time, it really takes off when it's not just Joel McHale. It's everybody. It's like a real ensemble cast because all the characters are hysterical. I think I'm somewhere in season. I think I'm almost at the end of season 4 right now. I've been watching Glow. So I watched season 1 while it was on, and then I just never watched it again. And it's such a good show. Like, love the wrestling aspect of it. All the women in the show are hysterical. Mark Maron is truly fucking hilarious. Everything that comes out of his mouth is funny. He's just like this grumpy old man.
He has like no bad scenes. He's just good in every scene.
And even like the scenes where he I just saw the scene where he tells Ruth that he's in love with her. Like, he's even really good in that scene too.
Yeah, he's a pretty good like dramatic actor too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that show.
So I watched the season 2 premiere of Dave, where they're in Korea. I thought it was funny. It was like stressful, but it was funny, So good episode. I watched the newest episode of Rick and Morty. Matt, have you seen these?
No, I haven't. I haven't seen any of them.
So I'll set the scene for you. The first scene is he's at his mom's work. Morty is at his mom's work, and his mom is a horse doctor, Ryan. So she's in the horse doctor operating room. He's like, oh, come on, let's go. We're supposed to go see a movie. And he looks at this machine, and he presses the button so it turns on, and it's got like a sucking action to it. And Morty's 14 years old. And he asks Mom, what's this? And she goes, oh, that's, for, extracting sperm from different horses. And then he asks her if there are any internships available. And next thing you know, there's like a race of super horse sperm, like trying to take over the earth. So, all because of Morty. Let's see, what other shows have I watched? I watched that show Them on Prime, which I told you guys about. It's a really well done show. It's about racism in the 1950s with a supernatural element to it. A really good show. It's not like I don't want to recommend it to people. I just found it tough to watch, and so I'll leave it at that.
Okay.
Let's see. I watched The Tomorrow War, which I love. I watched I Think You Should Leave. We'll save that for your go around, Matt. Watch one episode of Wellington Paranormal. Have you heard of that?
It's like the side series to What We Do in the Shadows, right?
Yeah.
Kind of.
So I watched the first episode. It was pretty funny. It's either had to be the volume really high or subtitles on because there's like the thick New Zealand accents.
Oh, jeez.
You know what I mean? But it was funny. You know, I watched the first Fear Street movie. If you've seen the ads for those on Netflix, Fear Street 1994, it was okay. I mean, it was entertaining. It's a lot of plot holes, not plot holes, but like a lot of stuff they just move. There's the main character is a girl, and she's at it's two rival towns, and they're at like this pep rally, whatever. Because actually not a pep rally, but like a memorial because people die in the town. And she looks over, sees this guy and this girl making out, grabbing each other's asses, and she looks like she's jealous, like, oh, she must have been with this guy, but you find out she was with the girl and they were together. And then the girl moved out of town and she started dating this guy. So it's like they're butting heads. And like, I don't know, probably 15 minutes after that, the guy gets brutally murdered in the hospital. And then like another 15 minutes later, the two girls are making out at in the high school bathroom somewhere. It's like they get past things real quickly in the movie, but it was pretty good. I'm going to watch the other two just because, I watched the first one.
Are they all connected?
Yes, they're all connected. So the first one, it's like 1994, maybe like 1966. And then the next one goes like to the 1800s, I think, something like that.
Oh, okay.
So it goes back in time instead of forward. And I'm sure they like jump back and forth a bit. I rewatched Army of the Dead, and it was great to see the second time around because like you see all that stuff. I saw all the stuff that I read about after I saw it the first time. That was cool. And one of the guys I was watching with had told me that his friend said to him that it was a ripoff of this Korean movie called Train to Busan. And I'm not gonna just take his word for it because obviously I'm a huge Zack Snyder fan. I wanted to see what it was, see if it was true. I watched Train to Busan today. First of all, it was awesome. An awesome movie. But the only two connections between the two movies is that it's a zombie movie. That's it. Like, this movie is, a not deadbeat dad, but a dad who's like too busy at work to watch his daughter, has to take his daughter on a train to Busan to the mother. And in that time, a zombie outbreak happens, and like they're on the train almost the whole time, and he has to protect her. That's the movie. Like, it's not a heist. It has nothing to do with heist. Like, yeah, there's the daughter connection, but like he's protecting his daughter the whole time. You know what I mean? Like in Army of the Dead, the daughter inserted herself into the story.
Yeah,
so I didn't see the connection. No, but I definitely recommend Train to Busan. It was a really, really good zombie movie. Like the zombies were scary, and it was. I don't know if I was texting Matt. I don't know if it was because of the subtitles, but the whole movie was like super tense too. It was well done. I definitely recommend it. It's on Hulu.
Okay. So,
and I think that's it. Big week for Adam.
Yeah, big week. I didn't have that much. Dave, I watched Dave. They definitely, it's funny, but this season they definitely turned up the weird.
Yes.
Like, severely turned up the weird. I did not expect to see a compound fracture come out of Kareem Abdul-Jabbar's leg. Like, totally turned it up to the next level. It's just weird, but I love it. Like, it's good. Like, it's good writing. It's still a good show, and I think that it's interesting that it can do, like, make these kind of choices and still be at that high level of like storytelling and the way that they wrap up an episode in the time that they have. It's not a movie. You know what I mean? Like, these short episodes, they're able to like change the feeling, like change the mood every episode.
I did notice that the first episode of season 2 that like it felt longer than what was it, 25 minutes?
Yeah,
but it's a good show. It's a good show.
Yeah, I like it. I think it's great. I think it's one of those like diamond in the rough, not diamond in the rough, but I think it's one of those like really good like self-contained like really good quality shows that you wouldn't expect. Like on like the same like ilk as like Master of None, like those type of shows.
Right. Yeah, it's definitely in that vein.
Louis, like those, like I definitely put it up there with those shows. I also watched Loki, like you said. I thought this last episode was so good, with like putting in all these Easter eggs, but also still sticking to like a main story. I thought it was awesome. You had Throg, which is the Thor frog, who was voiced by Chris Helmsworth. You had
It was
the alligator, the crocodile Loki, which is a good throwback. Yeah, it was awesome.
it was such an awesome opportunity to do what they did, and they more than took advantage of it.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Like,
This has been the best Disney Plus Marvel show so far for me. Definitely.
so Ryan, like for your, I don't know if you've been watching it or not, but like
I have not.
where Loki is right now is sort of like at the end of time, and it's where everything that ends up out of place in the timeline gets dumped, right? And so the showrunners used it as an opportunity to insert like sort of like fan favorite things, little Easter eggs from other movies, things from that you've only seen in the comics. Like it was really cool. Like I saw one actually, and I sent it to Matt. Like there's a subway car in one of them, and it looks exactly like the subway car from the second Tobey Maguire Spider-Man. You know what I mean? That's 100% done on purpose.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Stuff like that. And it was really cool. See all the different versions of Loki. And then there was and then at the end they show you like this big castle. And that's where, we're led to believe that they're going to find whoever's running the timeline. And we'll report back next week.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know if I'll watch it.
Too far behind. Too far gone now.
Yeah, I think I just only saw the first Thor, so yeah.
Just watch. All you really need to see is Love and Thunder.
Yeah,
the Thors.
I thought that Love and Thunder, Ragnarok.
Ragnarok. Sorry, thank you.
I think this is the best one, and I think they've gotten better. I wasn't a huge fan of the Scarlet Witch show. Vision, WandaVision wasn't a huge fan. It didn't really give us anything.
I liked WandaVision until it didn't give us anything at the end. But I think I invested myself a little too much in like these fan theories. And I wasn't super into the Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Like I said before in a previous podcast, I think it should have been two separate shows.
I don't know. Once you see Black Widow, which I'll talk about next, you might change your mind.
Okay, I think I'm gonna go see it tomorrow. I think I got it on the docket for tomorrow.
So I saw Black Widow. I loved it. It was awesome. It was just great to be back in the theaters, seeing a Marvel movie, waiting for the after credit scene. It felt great.
Did it deliver? The after credit scene?
It delivered. Totally delivered.
Okay. Is there anything all the way at the end, or just like?
So it is all the way at the end. That's the only thing. There's they had this thing right at the end of the movie that probably could have been a mid-credit scene, but they just put it right at the end of the movie. And then there's a way after credit scene, so you got to stay till the end. It was great. Florence Pugh is awesome in it. Is that how I say her last name right?
Yeah.
Pugh, right?
Yeah.
Florence Pugh is awesome. She's so good in it. And then Rachel Weisz, who's from The Mummy, she's fucking badass in it. So badass. And David Harbour is the greatest. I love David Harbour. He's so good in it. I can't get over how good all of their, except for Natasha, all of their Russian accents are. Like when you see it, Adam, like they're so good. Right. It's not like Wanda, where she like has it and doesn't have it.
She's in and out.
They are great Russian accents. Fantastic. Florence Pugh kills it. She's so awesome. So yeah, I loved it. Great thing. Taskmaster is a fucking tremendous villain.
Really?
Tremendous villain.
Okay.
He's so fucking. Do you know the story about Taskmaster?
Not really.
So Taskmaster can mimic any of he studies the Avengers and mimics all of their moves. So
that's cool.
He has a shield like Captain America. He can shoot arrows like Hawkeye, and he fights like he has a suit of armor like Iron Man. But he obviously doesn't fly around, but he fights like them, and he can mimic them exactly. So all he has to do is like throw a few punches against Black Widow, and then he can mimic everything that they're doing. That's like his backstory. He's just like the Taskmaster. And usually he's hired help, but in this case it's a little bit different. But fucking awesome, loved it. Go see it.
Awesome.
I watched War Dogs with Miles Teller.
What'd you think?
Hill. I liked it. I thought that was really good. People didn't like that. People dogged on that movie, but I thought it was pretty decent.
People dog that movie because they don't like Miles Teller. People don't like Miles Teller for some reason.
Yeah,
I don't know why.
I don't know what that is. Like, I don't know what that is. I love Miles Teller, but I thought War Dogs was great. I thought that was a cool, little
I like that movie too.
Like crazy true story. So That's wild. And then I watched Across the Universe, which is one of my favorite, like that type of movie, like musical, but it's like it's kind of, you know, it's like a Mamma Mia where it's like the music of ABBA. This is the music of the Beatles, but it's done in movie form. A great movie. I love it. Evan Rachel Wood is so good in it. And she's so young in it too. You forget she's in it. And Jim Sturgis, who is 21 and a few other movies. But yeah, that's it. That's all I've been watching.
Still a solid list.
Yeah, solid list. I mean, I had a lot more I wanted to get to this week. Like I wanted to watch. Oh well, I mean, I watched. I Think You Should Leave. I just haven't finished season 2. I thought the TV channel was a fucking fantastic skit talking about, what is it, casket flop.
Coffin drop.
Coffin drop.
Yeah.
Oh my god, so funny. That was good. I like the first skit in the first season where they're talking about the dog humping him in the head, and he's like, the dog attacked me. Thought that was good. The scene where they're planning a baby shower and you find out that he's trying to get rid of props from an Italian mob movie that he made. The fedoras, the plastic meatballs. I thought it was funny. At the end, they felt bad. They're like, okay, we'll buy some of the fedoras. And he's like, well, it only makes sense if you buy them in bulk or else I get screwed on the deal. So just really good. Really good. His humor is very like you were saying, Ryan. Like when you sold it to me, you were like, "It's like our humor. It's exactly our humor for sure."
Yeah, it's made for us.
And also, he does the thing where it goes on for a little too long, but he finds the funny again.
Yes,
like it goes on and it's funny, and then it's like, I mean, it's not even unfunny. It's just like okay, I get it, and then it the meter goes back up and it goes back to funny, and then it cuts. Like it's perfect. It's really, really good.
So, you've seen the honk if you're horny one, Matt?
Yes. Yeah.
That I feel like that one is a great example of that because like I thought it was funny at first. This guy's following around, then he's like keeps following around. I'm like, all right, where's this going?
Yeah.
And they like get into it outside of a funeral. And he opens the trunk and he's got all the porn in his trunk, just like the guy said. And then he goes and sings some song, and you find out like it's his mom's funeral or something.
And then the adult Halloween, adult haunted house.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Listen, I understand. I'm glad you're having a good time. It's like, can we just tone it back a little bit?
And then that one too, like, and then it goes, and then his mom picks him up from it. Like,
yeah.
Did you meet any new friends tonight? No.
Very good. He's very funny. Tim Robinson.
This is the adult tour. Jizz. Horse cock.
God.
Yeah, that's it though. All right. Average Nobody's Podcast number 124 for July 12th, 2021. AverageNobodies.com, YouTube.com/TheAverageNobodies on podcast services, Apple and Spotify. And that's it. You guys have anything else you want to add?
I don't think so.
That's it, I'm good.
We'll be back next week. We don't have a draft just yet, but remember, go on Twitter and vote for who had the best draft. The numbers will be up there as soon as this gets posted. So if you're listening to this, it's up. Go see it, and we leave the poll up for 4 days. So vote
away.
Vote or die.
We had a record. We had a record 11 votes last time.
That's right.
Hey.
And all three of us tied.
The three of us tied. That's right.
Okay. All right. That's it, guys. Talk to you later.
See ya.